Well, ladies and gentlemen, it would seem as if Democratic Senator Chuck Schumer has just been caught in a massive lie again. You see, just yesterday afternoon, Chuck Schumer slipped up and admitted something about the Democrats' so-called constitutional crisis narrative that, let's just say, he's probably going to regret. But before we take a look at that, I want you all to take a listen to what Chuck Schumer had to say just yesterday afternoon about what the Democrats plan to do if they manage to retake the House and the Senate in the upcoming midterms. It would seem as if the Democrats are up to their usual antics. Take a look.
Your colleague from Georgia, Senator John Ossoff, told voters at a town hall that he strongly agrees that President Trump should be impeached. Do you agree with him? Would that be a priority if Democrats were to take back Congress?
Well, look, right now, President Trump is violating rule of law in every way. And we're fighting him every single day in every way. And our goal is to show the American people over and over again, whether it's the economy, whether it's tariffs, whether it's Russia and overseas, and whether it's rule of law, how bad he is. And, it's 2 years is too far away to predict. Our job is day to day to day to show who Trump is, what he is doing, and it's having an effect, as your polls show. The American people are realizing.
You're not saying no.
Look, it's too far away to even judge.
Okay.
So, ladies and gentlemen, notice that he didn't deny that the Democrats' plan was to impeach President Trump again. Folks, I have to say, the Democrats have learned absolutely nothing over the last 9 years. First, they pushed the bogus Russia collusion hoax. Then they impeached President Trump once. Then they impeached President Trump again. Then they weaponized the Department of Justice to raid Mar-a-Lago. Then they slapped him with 34 completely bogus felonies. But as you all know, none of it worked. The American people saw through all of it. And so if their master plan is to try to impeach President Trump again for a third time, who cares? Surely not the American people. But okay, now folks, let's go ahead and talk about this constitutional crisis narrative that the Democrats have been screeching about for years now. You see, like I said earlier, yesterday afternoon, Chuck Schumer slipped up big time and admitted something that absolutely blows apart the entire narrative. So folks, let's get into it. Take a look at this.
Warning, we are on the verge of a constitutional crisis. Has that crisis arrived, Senator?
Yes, it has, unfortunately, because Trump wants to be king. A king doesn't have a constitution. A king just does whatever he wants, and beyond, he just goes along with them. They're trying to intimidate judges. This is not the first time or the second. They've said they want to impeach judges. They said they're going to go after judges who don't agree with them. That is so against the Constitution. The Constitution believes, and has been written with the wisdom of the founding fathers, that we should have separation of powers. There should be an independent judiciary. When you go before a judge, you think that you hope and believe that that judge is impartial. What Trump, Biondi, and the whole Justice Department are trying to do is push that judge, threaten that judge, so the judge is no longer impartial. It is outrageous in both cases.
You hear that, folks? According to Democratic Senator Chuck Schumer, trying to hold various progressive judges accountable for their criminal behavior somehow constitutes a constitutional crisis. And now, keep in mind, these two judges that Chuck Schumer is crying about, they were apprehended by the FBI just a few days ago for literally harboring illegal immigrants in their own homes. Yes, you heard that correctly. Two sitting judges actively helping illegal immigrants hide from federal authorities. Ladies and gentlemen, call me extreme, but as far as I'm concerned, these two judges shouldn't just be removed from the bench. They should be deported alongside the illegal immigrants that they seem to love so much. But okay, now check this out. About a month ago, Democratic Senator Chuck Schumer accidentally leaked the Democrats' plan to impose judicial tyranny. Take a look.
There are those who believe that we are, in real time, living through an assault on the constitutional order. Do you believe that we are in a constitutional crisis right now?
Yes, our democracy is at risk because Donald Trump shows that he wishes to violate the laws in many, many different ways. The good news here is we did put 235 judges, progressive judges, judges not under the control of Trump last year on the bench, and they are ruling against Trump time after time after time.
And so there you have it, folks, directly from Chuck Schumer's mouth. During Joe Biden's presidency, the Democrats deliberately appointed 235 radically progressive federal judges for the sole and exclusive purpose of undermining every single thing that President Trump tries to do. If you want to know what a real constitutional crisis looks like, look no further. There you have it. Unelected, hyper-partisan judges weaponizing the courts not to uphold the law, but to sabotage the democratically elected president of the United States of America. That is the real constitutional crisis. And then, when President Trump has the resolve to start holding these radical judges accountable, progressive idiots like Chuck Schumer run to the media screaming about authoritarianism and tyranny, all while defending literal criminals. This is hypocrisy of the highest order. This is projection on a level that is honestly kind of pathetic. But so you know what all of this proves? It proves that the Democrats, led by people like Chuck Schumer, consistently favor illegal immigrants over the safety and prosperity of law-abiding American citizens. They'll shield criminal judges, they'll protect violent illegal immigrant invaders, but they will never lift a finger for you or your family. Right now, the number one concern of the entire Democratic Party is to defend every single illegal immigrant invader from getting deported by President Trump, even if they've been verifiably proven to be a member of a foreign cartel gang or even worse, a terrorist organization, as many of them are. The Democrats don't really care about any of that. At this point, it's abundantly clear that the Democrats care more about illegal immigrant cartel gang member terrorists than they do about American citizens. And so, folks, in truth, all of this is an excellent reminder of why we all voted for President Trump, to finally put America first. Now, folks, before we wrap up with today's video, I want to say real quick that I've actually gone ahead and made a community Facebook page where I'll be posting additional news and updates as it relates to all of this. So if you guys use Facebook, check out the pinned comment down below and give that page a follow. But everyone, that is going to be a wrap for today's video, so please go down below and drop a comment. Let me know what you think about all of this. Please like the video while you're down there. As I said earlier, please consider subscribing to the channel because it really does help a ton with my daily struggle here on YouTube. Thank you all very much for tuning in today, and of course, as always, stay safe.